Alright, so we're not actually making diamonds today, but we are going to make necklaces. Hey, it's Jenna. I'm from the South Brunswick Public Library Teen Department. Today's DIY is making your own necklaces or beads. I thought it would be a good either belated Mother's Day present, or you can give it to an aunt, or keep it for yourself, give it to your sister, brother, whoever might like it. But it will also double as a Play-Doh recipe, so if you get tired of making beads, you can also use it as Play-Doh. And kind of use it as a stress relief ball. There's all kinds of uses for it. So again, you will need the oven this week for baking your beads. So just make sure that you clear that with your guardians before you start working. And again, I'll post the recipe in the comment section, so you can check back later if you need to check on any of the other directions. All right, let's get started. First thing you want to do is set your oven to 250. Bake 250. Start. All right, so the first thing we want to do is start with our dry ingredients. So we want 2 cups of flour. So I measured out 1 cup already. Just dump that in your little bowl. Take a second cup. Flatten that out. 2 cups. Then we need half a cup of salt. So I measured that out already. So half a cup of salt. And then we'll just mix that together. All right, then we'll add in our water. We need 3/4 cups water. Just pour that in. And then we're gonna stir it up again. So. It does take a little while to work in all the flour, so just be patient with it and really make sure that you're getting all that dried flour in there. After a while, you're going to want to start working it in with your hands a little bit. That'll help us get some of that extra flour up. So you can start working it in with your hands, adding in that extra flour until you have one nice little ball. It's good for stress relief too. Really work it in there. Can take up to 10 minutes or so. Sometimes if you break it off into little tiny pieces or smaller pieces and just work that through, it's a little bit easier. And you can just leave them separate because we're going to make a couple different colors. If you have food coloring. If you don't have food coloring, that's okay. We can make all of our beads plain, and then you can paint them afterwards. So just really push it through and work it in. You may have a little flour left over in the bottom, that's okay. As long as your portions are kind of feeling like Play-Doh and smooth, and when you no longer feel the individual flour pieces, that's when you know you're good to go. All right, now that we have our dough divided into 4 different sections, I'm going to use 4 different colors. You can use, again, whatever you want to. And if you don't have the food coloring, that's okay. It just depends if you'd rather do the color before or after. So I'm going to put these other 3 off to the side. Take one little ball. I always like to start with the lightest color first. So I'm just going to take a couple of little dots of yellow. Kind of work that in. If you don't want to get the dye on your hands, you can use a spoon. It's just a little bit easier working it in this way. Just work that through until it's all solid. Here's our green. Mine's washable food coloring, so it's gonna wash off my hands, but if yours is not, just make sure that you're not dyeing your hands forever. Or not forever, but for the next day or two. I'm gonna actually leave mine with that little swirl in it like that. All right, now's the fun part. Now we can make whatever shapes we want, whatever colors we want. There's no wrong way to do it. So whatever shape you want, if you want to make little tiny circles, circle beads, make circles. I made my initials, make a little oval if you want. There's really no right or wrong. And you can make as many as you want. Whenever you're tired of making them, that's fine. You can use the rest as Play-Doh. So it's actually 2 crafts in 1. Play-Doh, you can give it to your younger siblings, keep it for yourself, or make the entire thing out of beads. It's up to you. But when you get tired, you don't have to keep going. All right, and the very last step is we'll need to make a little hole. So I took a little toothpick. So you just want to poke it through. I usually give it a little twist to make it a little bit bigger, just to make sure that you're giving yourself enough space. Both sides. Sometimes I'll go both directions just to make sure it's all the way through. And then you're good. Just wanted to show you a little trick that I learned. If you put all of them on one toothpick, or a bunch of the smaller ones on one toothpick, it saves you time. So you don't have to worry about doing them all individually. You kind of just push them through, almost like a little shish kebab. All right, now we'll just pop them in the oven for 2 hours and then they'll be good to go. All right, and the very last step after they come out of the oven and cool off is you take your needle. This will help you kind of put the beads on a little bit easier. You'll just put a little bit of string. If you have better jewelry making supplies, I'd recommend something else other than string, but that's all that I have. So that's what we're going to be using. So I'm just going to take some string, take my little tie the knot at the end of it, and take the needle and start threading the beads through. And there you have it. If you have clear nail polish, you could also do a layer of that on top of the beads just to give it a nice finished, kind of shiny polish look. That's another thing you can do, but otherwise you're all set. You can pick whichever beads you like the best and make a little necklace.